the good stuff.
Welcome back, everybody, to Goodwill Podcasting with Dan and Stone, your movie podcast that today is talking about Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, one of my most beloved movies that I love. Have a blanket on me right now with all the characters from the original Jurassic Park. Jurassic World's not that bad. We'll get into it here in a little bit, but we just got done talking about Jurassic World Rebirth with our friend here, who is at the bottom of the screen if you are watching visually. But this is Room for Scream. Gigi, been a friend of ours for a very long time now. We have grown together on the old TikTok app and just social media in general. We've come far, but something that has not changed is her love for Jurassic Park, and she's here to talk about it. Thank you again for joining us on a second episode that you're now recording.
Of course. I'm so excited. It's my favorite movie of all time. So I'm ready to yap.
This is just going to be like a glaze session. I don't know like what we're going to do. Like, I like this part. I like that part.
Yeah.
Dan, how do you think we should format this? Like, where should we start?
I think we should start with maybe Gigi, let everyone know like where your love for Jurassic Park came from.
That's a good one. So it was whenever my parents have always been divorced. That's all I've ever known. They divorced when I was a baby. So I've always split like weeks or weekends with my dad, and his love language with me and I have two older brothers. So his love language with us and how he bonded was having movie nights with us. And so he showed us Jurassic Park when we were younger, and we just fell in love with it, especially having two older brothers. They found it more exciting, enticing, and adventurous and stuff. And so it was just something that was always on in our house. And we absolutely loved it. And we would watch it every single weekend that we were at my dad's. We loved it so much. He bought us these little Jurassic Park tents. So we each had our little own Jurassic Park tent. We'd get inside our little tent and we'd have movie night and watch it in our little Jurassic Park tent. We actually still have the tents to this day. So yeah, that was just where my love of it came from. It just became a comfort movie. And then as kind of time went on, I started to watch Jurassic or The Lost World more than I did Jurassic Park. And for a short period of time, that was my favorite movie ever, just because I had watched it so much. And it is it just has a totally different tone than Jurassic Park. It's a lot more adventurous and just scary and a lot more tense moments than Jurassic Park has. But then my love for Jurassic Park came back. So yeah, just an all-time favorite film.
Dan, what are your feelings with it? I don't know if we've ever talked about it. Obviously not in this podcast, but I don't know if we've ever talked about it together.
I like it a lot. I mean, I grew up on a lot of Spielberg stuff. I mean, my parents were both big into movies, and I watched this pretty early on. This is a movie, the first three I've watched a lot. The first one we watched many, many, many times. I think those three are all special to me. I never really got into the newer movies. I think the first one is fine. But yeah, we just talked about kind of my feelings with the new movie. But yeah, the first three I really enjoy. I think they're all fun in their own way, good characters, and just also creative, I think, and just fun movies. But Spielberg also knows his way around horror really, really well. And it's a good mix of those two things.
It's crazy because I know that when Michael Crichton originally wrote the novel, he basically, I think there was bidding for the movie rights to it even before he was even finished with it. And I know that same, one of my other, I know that's happened with a lot of stories in the past. The first one that comes to mind for me is my personal favorite movie, which is The Social Network. I believe that movie as well was already being shopped around before the book was even finished. But it did land with Spielberg. But I know you cannot talk about this movie without talking about Schindler's List. And I believe that the deal was that this was, I think Spielberg had the rights to make Schindler's List for based off the book, which I can't remember. It's Schindler's, it's not List, it's something else. The book that he's adapting when it comes to that movie. But he only had so many years to do it, and he really wanted to. And basically, it's a black and white, very long film that's not going to be financially successful. And I know the only way they would get him to do it, or the only way he would agree to do it, the studio would allow him to do it, is if you made this movie, which is absolutely insane. This came out the same year as that. I don't think anybody's ever had two movies come out. We almost had that last year with The Strangers Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 coming out.
Oh yeah,
almost, but we unfortunately lucked out on that. Chapter 2 is coming out this year, but it's such a maybe greatest movie year ever that will ever be for a director.
Easy. I actually didn't know that about like Schindler's List, like that whole lore with it. I did not know. I mean, I knew that that was a whole bidding war of, and I forget who it almost went to. It was
there's 3 other directors that it almost went to. Let me look it up real quick.
I was just looking this up like a couple weeks back.
I mean, I would say there will never be, especially in today's world, I think you'd be hard pressed to find 2 more influential movies from the same director in a year.
Oh God, yeah.
And again, I mean, personally, and it was Schindler's Ark. So.
Schindler's Ark. Okay, yeah.
I know James Cameron was somebody he's talked about it too, that he almost directed it or was thinking about directing it, but he straight up just said, I would have made this movie way too dark. And I think that Spielberg did such a good job blending the horrors of it, but also with the family elements as well, which is something, I mean, James Cameron's movies are pretty dark. And I mean, his latest Avatar, The Way of Water does dive into family just a little bit, but he wasn't doing that back in the 90s. He would have, it would have been intense, which James Cameron this movie has some scale to it, obviously, but James Cameron's scale is still on another level. I think James Cameron's movie would have been what we thought Rebirth was going to be.
Yes, exactly. Because I thought it was going to be like, a lot darker and just crazier. That would be very fun to see.
You're talking about Jurassic Park, not Schindler's List for Cameron, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Schindler's List.
I was like, whoa, what are we
talking? Whoa.
Okay, so basically what happened was there's a lot of studios that were trying to pitch their guy, like, this is who we want to direct this movie. This is what we're doing. So one of them was Tim Burton. That's they were trying to pitch.
That was a big one.
I'm trying to think of the studio. That's the one that suggested him. It looks like Warner Brothers suggested Tim Burton. Columbia wanted Richard Donner, director most notably of the Lethal Weapon, and then Joe Dante, who did Gremlins.
Yes,
that could have kind of worked, but then also James Cameron as well. But those are the 4. It was Spielberg, Dante, Donner, and then also Tim Burton. Which Tim Burton Jurassic Park, that would have been
annoying.
Weird.
I don't know. I don't know if I would have liked it.
It's really interesting because they almost used stop motion in this movie. Like they were planning on using stop motion, but that's slowly when like CGI was coming into development. And I think they used the guys who did stop motion were very much used to working in film, but the people who were doing visual effects were not, because it was a new things. So they kept the people on, even though they weren't using necessarily their work anymore, they kept them on to help with the visual effects artists, and together they were able to create the visual renderings that they did in the film.
Yeah.
But probably with Tim Burton, we still would have gotten stop motion, because I know he's really in love with that. I mean, he just did it in Beetlejuice still.
Yeah, I think we would have got it.
But I don't know. This is just Spielberg was the right choice.
I think so too.
It's just so much magic and wonder, and it's timeless. And I feel like a lot of his movies just feel really timeless. And these are just one of these movies that, I mean, I just said timeless. People are going to watch forever, and they're always just going to like. It's just some type of magic to it. I know it's kind of corny, but
no, 1,000%. That's why I was like really scared to watch the new movie, because I was like, Jurassic Park just has like a certain magic to it, and like you said, it's just very timeless. Which I know we talked about in the last episode, but that's one thing that I wish that they could have kept throughout the franchise is the animatronics. That is a big reason why it is so timeless. They look so realistic. The dinosaurs look so realistic. So the more realistic it looks, the scarier it's going to be. I think that's why it holds so much more of a horror element than I would classify like the Jurassic World franchise. Because it's just like, and that's how you feel with other horror movies. It's like when you have something that's very like practical effects versus something that's CGI, of course the practical effect is going to be scarier than the CGI, because it feels more realistic. I just wish that they would have kept that going with the franchise.
I think it's not only the practical effects and like the horror aspect of it, but it's like actually taking the time to care about the characters and care about the themes that are being dealt with and
Yes.
understand the themes of the like source material. Because I mean, we talked about this time and time again. Like we just saw this with Sinners this year. Like when you take that time to actually develop your characters and develop your themes, like when the horror comes, it's actually effective. People actually feel something.
Oh yeah.
Like people seem to neglect this over and over again, but it works when you just take the time.
No, 1,000%. Like when we're in the Jeep with like Lex and Tim in Jurassic Park, it's like the stakes are so much higher and scarier because it's like you actually, even though that's like halfway through the movie, you still have spent so much time with these kids and gotten to know them and their personalities where it's like, oh, I'm actually scared for them right now. And like that's what's crazy to me in Rebirth, where it's like 45 minutes in, half the movie in, we're still like, what's this person's name? Like, I don't even know what this character's name is. So yeah, the character development is just unmatched, which I think is really funny in Jurassic Park. I think it's so funny that in the book, Alan actually doesn't mind kids. Like he kind of likes kids. And so I think it's so funny that in Jurassic Park, they were like, let's make them fucking hate kids.
That's such a good.
Yeah,
I did
so
this.
weird.
I did this. I posted this thing on Twitter where I was like the kid that Grant goes up to and he's like, "They cut you here and cut you there," right? And then I love it. He goes like they come in from the sides and he goes.
Yes.
I said that actor, he's actually acted in a couple other things. Like they should bring him back, like Syndrome from The Incredibles. Like he's the big bad and like absolutely hates dinosaurs because of what Alan Grant just like petrified him back in the day, and now he just wants to murder all dinosaurs. Like make him the big bad. Like bring him back. I would have been rather than Dotson.
I I actually really I would love that. My brother, anytime I see my brother, because he lives in California, my oldest brother, anytime I see him, he always quotes that to me. Always, always. And he'll do his little maybe around the belly.
Just go come in from the sides.
Yeah.
But it's so funny that we just talked about Rebirth because I think it's so easy to see what's good about this movie when you watch something that's trying to imitate it but imitates it poorly.
Yeah.
And like you were saying with the character development, there's just something so simple that they do with what's his name, the boy in this movie, they do with Tim. Yes. Mm-hmm. Is that there's something they don't do with the little girl in Rebirth. What character trait does the little girl have in Rebirth? She doesn't talk for a second, but that's because she's traumatized.
Yeah.
Like besides that, she sees that guy almost threaten her sister. Is there anything else? No. Yeah. The little boy, Tim, in this, he's obsessed with Grant.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to be next to him. He wants to be near him. He's just constantly bugging him. And then Samuel does such a good job playing off of him. And it's something so little. And then I think it's so important, though, because later in the film, when shit happens, Grant realizes how much he means to these children. And because you have you kind of he likes it. You know, everyone likes to be loved. So he even though he acts like he doesn't, I feel like there's that undetected connection right there. And it makes him want to help the kids out later in the film, in my opinion.
Oh no, 1,000%. That's what I love. It's like you have these like characteristics and character traits of these like Tim, like he's obsessed with dinosaurs. He's like, you know, Alan loves that he like challenges Lex, and you know, whenever Lex has like a question or kind of like, you know, just brushes something off about the dinosaurs, Tim is there to like challenge it. And it's like, oh, okay, we love this kid. He's knowledgeable, he knows, and he loves Alan. And then Lex is just kind of there to be like, she is playing along. She's like, you know, feeding into this whole like, oh, he doesn't like kids, so I'm just going to make him like me. And I just like kind of want to I like sports and I'm good with computers. So I think that there are still, you know, characteristics that are carved out in them that we just don't see when the franchise is unfolding.
Yeah, I think like caring about lesser characters or side characters I think is so important in like crafting a story that people actually remember, because otherwise you just have like characters that are just basically wastes of screen time that you're just dumping time and energy into and people aren't feeling anything. But I think like there's so many good castings in this. Like I always forget Samuel L. Jackson is here.
Oh my God, I know.
Richard Attenborough like is just perfect in this. Like you can't get a better John Hammond. Like it's just,
dude, Wayne Knight runs circles around any other villain in this entire franchise, in my opinion. I love Wayne Knight so much.
Yeah, I mean it's an iconic performance and like not a ton of screen time. Like it's really good. It's a great cast.
Oh yeah, it's very stacked, and just even with like the small amount of screen time that some of them have, they still took the time to like carve out their characters. It's perfect. It's flawless.
I can't think of really any other Jurassic Park movie. I might be missing something in the Lost World. Maybe like Sarah Harding. Like, how many Sarahs do you think there are on this island? That's funny. But there's like no quotable lines like in any of the other movies. This, obviously I love the scenes with all the dinosaurs, but there's so many like memorable moments and quotable lines from these characters that is just there's no dinosaurs in it. It's just these people.
Yeah.
And it feels like such a movie. It feels like you're watching something that you can't watch. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like it seems like all these people are lived in, they've been around for all their lives. Like the hold on to your butts, like the fact that that's that one catchphrase from Samuel L. Jackson just makes you remember him. And he stands out to you. And then he has his death, which I think the little thing about his death that I found out was basically they were supposed to show Samuel L. Jackson dying, but then that hurricane came in and crashed into Hawaii, and basically they had to wrap up shooting early, and that's why they were just like, okay, what do we do? Let's just show his arm. And it's just it's such a memorable death, and there's nothing in these later movies that is a memorable death, in my opinion. Make the monsters memorable, but make people dying memorable as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I think that's such like a what you're talking about, how like there's really not a lot of screen time with the dinosaurs. It's very like similar to Jaws, where it's like we only get a total of like 4 minutes of Bruce on screen. And so it's like the fact that they were able to create this like scare and tension with not that much screen time of the dinosaurs is like so good. Like going back to like the footprint and like the water, or it's like, you know, raptor calls, or it's like roars or stuff like that. Like I remember the first time that the dinosaur like roared, I was watching with my niece and she was like scared shitless, and it was just like a roar. I don't even think we see the dinosaur on screen at that time, and it's still just like so scary the way that they're able to like create this like tension and scare with very little screen time from the dinosaurs.
Yeah, that T-Rex roar, they basically put it together, which is, this reminds me of, you guys have seen Annihilation, right?
Yes. Oh, like the bear. Oh my God. Terrifying.
The noise they made, just like stitching together real animal noises. I think that's scarier, but this one was a tiger, like an alligator, like snarl, and then a baby elephant. And those are the noises that they mix together to create the T-Rex in this, which sounds great, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Something I wanted to say. Oh, we were talking about the Gigi was talking about how they, similar to Jaws, kind of have limited screen time for the dinosaurs. And I think like also similar to Jaws, these animatronics were really, really difficult to deal with. And they were unpredictable. They were having issues. The scene where the T-Rex breaks the glass in the SUV, that was like an accident. Like,
yeah,
the kids were actually freaking out because that was not supposed to happen. It just like lurched forward. So I think it's another kind of thing where like something that could be a weakness of the movie ends up being a strength, because there's like these things are actually scary and you can't use them that much, and it's like rainy, so like it's kind of a perfect storm.
Yeah, I love that. Like I love hearing all the horror stories of like the animatronic, or like really any type of horror story about animatronics. Same thing with like Gremlins, like all these like behind the scenes, like when they're malfunctioning, or like how the T-Rex would just like roar at certain times because it was like the rain was like fucking it up and stuff. I love hearing horror stories about that. I feel like we've come far enough to where I don't know. I feel like it's easier to make animatronics, or like it's easier to like house them. I don't know.
The thing is, it takes planning.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we that's what Gareth Edwards was saying about the reason why they don't have a whole lot in Rebirth. Is
I wonder how long it took for Jurassic Park.
Well, I know they started production I believe in 1990 is when they started
Uh-huh.
production, and the movie came out in 1993.
Yeah.
So that it is a lot of planning, and you got to know. I believe this was the very first movie. Oh, this is a crazy pull of I think this was the very first movie that maybe Steven Spielberg storyboarded. I want to say that might be a far reach. I don't know where I'm coming from that, but you could definitely tell they had a plan when it came to this. I know they also almost shot it in like Costa Rica, where it's actually supposed to take
Yeah.
place. But I believe that the weather conditions there were just too unpredictable, and it was also way too hot, so that's why they chose Hawaii or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have to say, my favorite animatronic by far, because it doesn't look like an animatronic, it doesn't seem like one because you're not looking at a face. Is I love when Alan Grant is laying on the Triceratops and it's breathing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that moment. Oh, one more. Ugh, this is Alan Grant is a smart guy. Talks about dinosaurs all the time in very scientific ways. I love the decision of when he first sees a dinosaur. What does he say about it? Does he go into his nerd mode? Like, does he say what species it is? Like, what is the first thing that pops in his mind? He acts like a child.
Oh yeah.
He points up and goes, it's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like that is such a genuine reaction that I absolutely love. It was such a brilliant decision.
I do. I love that scene, and that's what I feel like in Rebirth they kind of tried to like emulate with Jonathan Bailey's character like crying, and I I thought like I didn't mind the scene, but I was like, we get the scene that you're trying to emulate, but it just didn't hit the same.
Yeah, I agree. I also think like we were talking earlier about kind of having like villains in these movies. I think the Velociraptors are really memorable and some of the most like iconic quote unquote villains in any movie from the 90s. But I think this is a perfect example of what we were talking about, like using real dinosaurs that feel like actual dinosaurs, but like spicing them up, like adding some Hollywood to them. Like the Velociraptors that we're seeing here were actually like turkey size. They were way smaller. So like they kind of make them into something. But like something that was cool was they actually ended up discovering pretty much the Velociraptors in this movie in Utah after Jurassic Park came out. They were like 5 or 6 feet tall and they looked a lot like these raptors. So after the movie came out, they actually found something that was very much similar, which is called the Utah Raptor. I thought that was cool. But
wait, that's like real?
Yes.
Oh my God. Wait, I need to look this up. That's freaky.
Yeah, Utah Raptor is what it's called.
Utah Raptor. Oh my God.
And like pretty, I think like 5 feet tall.
Oh, okay. Wait, I remember seeing, yes. Okay. I've seen like a little diagram of this.
Yeah.
I'll say something that's cool is that they can always get away with these dinosaurs not looking like their actual real life counterparts is because you just be like, yo, bro, that's the frog DNA taking over. That's the lizard. Like we didn't have all of it, so that's why I think the Dilophosaurus. I don't think that thing actually spits acid or whatever in real life. Like that's something they added. Yeah. Like, hey man, that's the gecko.
Who knows? That's the gecko.
Dude, the Wayne Knight scene is terrifying.
Oh like, no, it's terrible. It's scary. It's like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even though they like weren't able to show certain things, it was like they still did enough alluding where it's scary.
And it's like there's that one shot of the Barbasol can coming down and then being covered with mud. To me, that shows like no one is going to know why he was out here. No one is going to find him. Nobody's going to even know this even went down. Yeah. Nobody's going to care about this guy. And it's such a pathetic death, but it's so terrifying.
Oh yeah, it's very memorable.
He's like, stick. What stick? Yeah. Get a stick. Ah, stupid. Dan, what you in over there?
I was just thinking about like scientifically. I think it's you know we're kind of at a point now where in 2025 we're doing the stuff they were talking about in Jurassic Park. Like the woolly mammoth is coming back within two years, I think.
Why?
Because they can. No, literally because they can. And I think it shows. I think that the next planet is the dodo. That's the next animal they want to bring back, and like, they'll say it's for the ecosystem and this and that, but like it's because they can and they want to do things. And I think like it's funny because in Rebirth, it wasn't really willing to really take a bite out of, no pun intended, anything scientifically, or like, I mean, what we have now that to kind of tackle is like gene editing and CRISPR and like all that stuff. And like the movie could have had something to say about that, like this movie did fucking 32 years ago, but it just doesn't. But now we're in a moment where we're doing what they were doing in the first movie, and we're also doing other stuff that's going to affect humanity and affect, people can make designer babies in the future. Like, is that ethical? Like, there's so many questions to ask, and like, not to get back into Reaper, but I just think it's interesting how far we've come in this 32 years.
No, I thought 1,000%.
All the Goldblum lines in this movie, man, you're just reciprocating them.
Yeah, his what's his famous line?
Life.
No, not life.
Your scientists were too busy thinking about whether they could and stop to think whether they should.
Yes. My favorite line.
Yeah. And it's also just crazy, like, we're in a time where I feel like we're regressing with our attitude towards science. It's like we're not listening to our scientists now. Like, we just saw what's happening in Texas, science being ignored, and like us paying a cost for that, and like it's very real. And I think more and more things like that are going to happen. And it's like, it's crazy that we're somehow regressing, but also we have all this new technology at the same time to play with. I feel like it's a bad combination. Not to get dark, but
we need to make a movie on that. Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of like what Jurassic Park was, but
yeah. I did a video about How to Train Your Dragon, like the difference between like the book and the movie, and I was wanting to do that for Jurassic Park. I actually almost bought it, but then I couldn't find a hardcover, which I really like hardcovers, so I didn't buy it. But I was looking up some stuff that was different, and it seems like they switched basically the characters of Hammond and the lawyer. Like, the lawyer was a lot more kind in the book and was trying to help out the kids, and Hammond was like the lawyer and was only interested in money and saw the profitability of this entire place. And I like that they changed that because, I mean, like you said, Dan, Richard Attenborough is just, I think he was retired for about 15 years, and Spielberg convinced him to come out of retirement to be in this movie. I'm almost 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I do like that. His character, Hammond's character in the book, is based off of like Walt Disney. And so it was more so like, yes, he wanted some kind of, like attraction for kids and adults and stuff like that, but he was very focused on like money. It was all about the money and, what you can get out of it. But yeah, in the book, he was a little bit more Walt Disney like.
Yeah, I think like he's a very interesting character with, I think, multiple sides to him, because he's very much shown as this like, kind of aristocratic grandpa who's so nice and welcoming and all that. And then you like dive into what he's actually doing and like how, like his ego and how arrogant he actually is, and just the way he ignores science and reality. And like, it's just because you have the financial resources to do something, like, doesn't mean go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a very good kind of warning as a character.
He's a very layered character. Like, I like that you can see that he has a lot of flaws, but that he doesn't necessarily have good intentions, but he's not evil.
Yes. Yeah.
It's scientific curiosity. Like, it's. I mean, this is the conversation we had about Oppenheimer, right? Like, he was scientifically curious, and like he had an ego, and like those two things outweighed everything else he did, and he ignored the ethics, and he like wasn't necessarily evil, but he was doing stuff because he could, right? He was a smart guy. Like, so it's kind of a similar conversation, I feel like.
I mean, one of my favorite moments of the entire movie, one of my favorite scenes, might be my favorite scene, which is crazy to say, as I love when him and Ellie sit down together at that table and they have ice cream. He's talking about the flea circus.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, like, I brought this to kids, and, it was a fun illusion that a lot of people brought a lot of joy to a lot of kids. And now I have a chance to, it's not an illusion anymore, right? I have found a way to actually entertain people and actually kind of, in my interpretation, like do something with my life. Like I'm actually contributing to society.
Yeah.
Where back then, it was absolutely nothing. It was all fake. And I love that he says, like, next time we will have control. And Ellie says the powerful line. She's like, you never had control. That is the illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you cannot do this, even though you believe you can. Oh, so good.
It's so good. I always think of when they're in that scene. I can't remember if it's that scene or when the kids are eating, like when they come back and they're eating the Jello. But anyways, we see a bunch of like merch, Jurassic Park merch, and like the empty thing. And every time I watch the movie, I'm like, what happened to this merch? I want to know who got their hands on this movie merch. I need a piece of that movie merch.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is one of the shots that Spielberg did and decisions that he did that really stuck out to me. That is before you see Hammond sitting alone at a table eating ice cream, because I think it is a depiction of what he thought this place was going to be.
Yeah.
You slowly see all the stuffed animals. You slowly see the coffee mugs, all the Jurassic Park stuff.
The
this
lunch
is one
boxes,
continuous shot. It's just a pan. It's such a good decision, but it's just a simple pan of like, hey, this is what we thought Jurassic Park was going to be, and it keep going, and he's sitting there alone at a table.
Yeah.
And a huge dining room, and he's like, this is what it actually is.
Yeah.
This cannot happen.
So good.
But yeah, I don't know. What is your favorite scene of the movie? I feel like we have to ask that.
The kitchen scene. The kitchen scene, which, if I'm not mistaken, never happens in the book. The kitchen scene is definitely, so I think that's funny that like that one never happened in the book. But it's my absolute favorite scene. It just, like, as a kid, it was so terrifying to see these two kids like all alone, especially like brother and sister, like siblings. So it like really resonated with me, where I was like, oh, this is so scary, because like Tim is just dumb hitting things, and then Lex trying to like pull the thing down, it's not going down. I was just like, these kids are so stupid, but like they're trying for each other. And I love the raptor call. Like I think it's one of the most iconic scenes in the entire franchise, when the little raptor does its call. And yeah, I love that entire sequence.
My dog does not like it. Oh man, there's a lot of raptors in the Jurassic World trilogy. That raptor call gets a fire out of my dog. She barks at the screen.
So funny
all the time. It's funny. It gets a little. She was doing it for about a good 5 minutes straight. I was like, you gotta chill.
You're okay. Stop. What's your guys' favorite scene?
Dan, oof, you got one?
I like a lot of the setup. I like a lot of the character dynamics, and like kind of everyone, kind of all the conversations that are had there. But I think in terms of a favorite scene, I think the T-Rex scene in the rain is really, really good.
Oh yeah,
with them being chased in the Jeep, I think I like that a lot. But there's a lot of good options.
I will go with when Ellie and Hammond are sitting down at the dining room table. That's like, no dinosaurs are in that sequence at all. I just like that you're getting to see it. No, you know what I'll say? I'm gonna say I love, what's it called? Mr. DNA.
Yeah.
Oh, where he's doing his little sequence?
Yes, that's just a beautiful and tricky way to give exposition.
Yes.
It's a smart, innovative, eye-catching way to give exposition. It reminds me of, I think it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is something Spielberg's very good at, is making sure if you have an exposition scene, you have to make it entertaining for your audience. He does the same thing in the Temple of Doom. The Temple of Doom, there's a lot of dialogue that you're supposed to pay attention to, but it's kind of racist, but it's that giant dining room dinner scene where all of them are eating. There's really like crazy foods that they're all like digging into, and it's really grossing out Steven Spielberg's future wife. I don't know the actress's name. But at the same time, like, you're being entertained, but you're also retaining all this information. He does the same thing in Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's there's the monkey, and there's poisonous dates, and you have this monkey that's just like creeping around. It's Sala and Indy, and the monkey's like, oh, is the monkey going to eat the date? Is Indy going to eat the date? I think he's like throwing it around, and at the very last second, Sala catches it, and it's like bad dates. You've got to make those scenes good.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of animation. There's like a little animation scene in this entire movie, and I absolutely love it. And it's so creative, and it feels like a ride, like at Disney World or something like that too, and which is part of the reason why I like Jurassic World. But yeah, I thought it's a genius way. I mean, I have a T-shirt of, is his name Mr. DNA? I feel like I'm doing it.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Look at me.
Look at you. But no, I absolutely love that scene. I remember I was like reading this little like article about like all these little like insights into like Jurassic Park. And that was like exactly that scene, because that doesn't happen in the book either. Like they never sit in a little ride and watch like a little, slideshow or like little animation of what's happening. He solely did that for exposition. They were like, we just need to tell them, the audience, quickly what is happening. And that was like what they came up with. And it's just so genius, because again, like going back to like Rebirth, where it's like they'll just like say something like, maybe we should give it to everybody, and then like this and this, and it's like, I feel like you guys could have done this in a totally different way, like a more engaging, interesting way.
One question I had was, in the book, was there any type of romantic thing between Alan and Ellie?
That's a good question.
Actually, no, I don't believe there was.
Yeah, that's like a interesting addition to this. But
I like their relationship. It seems more real. Like they kind of like each other, but it doesn't necessarily seem like they're in a committed relationship at the same time. Like they respect each other because they also work with one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like, and then we haven't talked about Jeff Goldblum that much, but he's like, are you guys on? He's like, yeah. It's like, back off, man.
Yeah, I don't actually think in the book that they're like, I don't think they're a couple or even like a thing in the book, if I'm not mistaken.
It's funny. I think she and Jeff Goldblum ended up dating for like a while after this, like a couple of years.
Did they really? I did not know that.
I don't blame her, man.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's in the car with the water. He goes, see that? Yeah. He's got so much charisma. Then they both jump out of the car. He says, see, I didn't realize that I was going to be talking to myself in here, but now I am.
I look where that goes. His character is probably like the most like true to his book character. His book character is just like that. I love that they kept him like that. Even down to like his all black. Like like when they're like building out his character, they say the same thing. Like he's always decked in all black, like all that, like very suave, very cool. And I love that they kept him that way.
So good. He's like, how do you know they're all female? Do you go up there and just lift up their little skirts?
Yeah.
it's so good. Oh gosh, he's such a good character.
Oh, he's so good. But I wonder why they decided. Well, probably because of the rating, or just I think it's just like a fan thing, because I always wondered why that they kept his character. Like, why didn't they kill off his character? But
I think it's fan screenings probably, and they also changed the ending of this movie. I think changed it from the book, or they didn't change it from the book. They changed it from what the original screenplay had. Originally, they were going to have kind of, I think it's a callback to what happens at the end of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, is you have the Indoraptor, which falls and it gets like punctured with the skeleton of a dinosaur. That was originally supposed to happen. The raptors were supposed to be the big bads of this movie, and it was supposed to fall and hit that T-Rex skeleton. But I think Spielberg knew people want to see the T-Rex.
Yeah.
So that's why he brought that back in. I'm curious how the book ended.
I forget exactly how the ending, like how it happens, but at the ending, it is the raptors. Like it's this whole sequence where the raptors are kind of like honing in on them, like, and so some of them are trying to like get out this one door, but the raptors are there, and this is where we're starting to learn that the raptors are very, like, they can adapt. Like they're like sitting here like, oh my god, they're actually playing a game with us. Like they are learning our movements and are teasing us. And then so it's like some of the raptors are by this door where they're trying to get out of, and then some of the raptors are hanging right above like Ian Malcolm, and they're trying to get into his little like area where he's dying basically. But I forget like what like the actual ending of the movie is, but no, there is no T-Rex at the end of the movie or at the end of the book. So it is the raptors.
we haven't mentioned the actor yet, but I also think that some guy that really adds a whole lot too is also like Bob Peck in this.
Yeah,
like Muldoon.
Oh,
Hunter. He has some good lines like the shoot just like on his mouth. So good, but then like it's a practical animatronic. When the camera's so good, you like just see the side of his face, but you can see the bushes in the background, and that raptor comes out. Just clever girl. Oh.
It's so his character is also very similar to his book character. I love his book character.
So good.
Yeah.
That's so much. Such a living character.
Yes.
He was a great British theater actor. I was just literally just reading about him. He got cancer in 1994 and then fought it for 5 years and died when he was like 53, which is very sad.
That is so sad.
But that was like right after this. But he was like a very famous British theater actor. He was really, really good in this.
Oh, wow. But yeah, I love his little shoot her line. So good.
Two more little highlights for me. I think Ariana Richards is really good at screaming. When she looks up and she sees that dinosaur when it's raining, one of the best screams I've ever heard. Really good.
Yes.
For a child actor. And then also some fun fact that I found out, which I'm curious if you guys know this or not. It's not that big of one, but the guy who plays Dotson, which we didn't know, comes back later in Jurassic World Dominion as the big bad guy, which is very hilarious. That actor actually auditioned to be Ian Malcolm and didn't get the role. And they're just like, we'll give you this instead. So
really?
Mm-hmm. I'm glad I went to Jeff Goldblum, but yeah, that is something interesting that I found out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Cameron Thor.
Great name.
Yeah.
Who's the guy? Jai Courtney, I still think. The guy from Dangerous Animals, I think, has one of the coolest names I've ever heard.
Oh, Jai Courtney's name is and he's like so cool too.
He's Australian. That's automatically better than me.
He's so cool and suave in real life too. Like that's a great name.
I can't laugh at this guy's name because it's his real name. Wait, what are you about to say, Dan?
Oh, I was just looking into Cameron Thor. He's not a good. Yeah, no, this is. Go ahead. This is too dark.
Okay, no. Well, I don't want to be rude. The guy who plays the kid that Alan's trying to like intimidate at the very beginning, the actor's name is Whit Hertford, which I guess that's not that. It's just
British.
Whit Hertford. But good stuff. Jurassic Park, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 for you, Dan?
Yeah.
No.
What would you change?
It's just like
you crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more so like when I think about this, like in comparison to some other Spielberg stuff, like it doesn't quite get the same level of emotional reaction for me. I think a lot of it is like nostalgic, but probably like a 4.5. It's really good.
Probably. What are we doing here, dude? It's because Dan just got 2 kids.
These ratings don't fucking matter. These ratings are just, it's all.
Dan just got 2 kids.
They matter to me.
Now he's going to personally. I have 2 children. How many children do you have, Gigi?
4.
4, okay. A little bit double. But Dan just got his 2nd child. So now he's going to connect to it more on a personal level.
Yes. So now you'll get it. Wait, do you guys like The Lost World?
I don't like that Ian Malcolm feels like a different character.
That's fair. Yeah.
I like 2 and 3.
Also, there's 20 minutes of that movie that I feel like are missing.
You know what's weird is that the beginning of The Lost World, the movie, is the beginning of the Jurassic Park book, which is like where the little the little guys, like the little things are.
I don't like those things. The little green ones. I don't like them.
That's the beginning of the book, and so like it was kind of weird to visualize this whole sequence of like that's like the entire opening of the book is this little girl dying from these little guys. So I thought that was weird, but I love too.
I think Spielberg told him to start writing The Lost World, the book, like while they were making the first movie. Like they already knew that they were going to make more. So I think the communication, Spielberg was like, hey, start writing again because I need to make another movie. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about The Lost World, but I just want to say the point where they leave on the ship and they go to the U.S., there's just like 20 minutes of the movie missing. You don't see Vince Vaughn anymore. You don't see the daughter anymore until the very end. those 4 people don't interact with each other. How the fuck did all those crew members die? The T-Rexes are still locked in their little paddock. I think that pterodactyls came in and they killed. No, I'm being 100%. I think that's what happened. Pterodactyls came in and they literally killed the entire crew because it wasn't the T-Rex. The T-Rex is still in his little box. So how did all of them die? I'm almost positive it's a deleted scene or it's in the book or something. But the pterodactyls literally came in, wasted everyone, and then the ship is just chugging along. But they don't show that. It's such a baffling decision.
No, it is, because I just rewatched The Lost World like not that long ago, and I always thought that scene of them like all being dead. I was like, oh, that's like an interesting scene. But yeah, Vince Vaughn not being there honestly never really hit for me. But that is true.
Where'd he go? Also, are we ever going to see Ian Malcolm and his daughter talk to each other and like reconcile? Are they just like bond because they almost died together? They don't actually talk about their issues because they have a lot of issues. Like that, like I told you, like speaking, I don't know if you guys want to get into Jurassic World. I think Jurassic World does the second best job with characters in the entire franchise. Like I said, there's a little bit in Jurassic Park 3 when it comes to the husband and wife and them reconnecting over the desire to find their son lost on this island. But Grant at the beginning, there's such this interesting dilemma with like, dinosaurs are back. Do I really need to be a paleontologist anymore? Like, how am I emotionally feeling about this? Oh, wait, these people are going to give me cash? I can go to this island.
Yeah.
Wait. What about all that stuff? Like, what about like how you're feeling and all that's like, are we going to talk? No, we're not going to talk about that anymore. Okay, that's fine.
No, he got a check. He got some monies.
Like this movie cares about its characters and takes time to set them up. It really does. Like you open up with the brothers at their home, leaving their mother, and the brothers are not nice. The older brother is not nice to the younger one. And that is something they deal with. And then I love Bryce Dallas Howard's character, how she sees these dinosaurs as assets, and slowly over time, as she is watching the horror that she didn't necessarily create, but she had a part in authorizing, like rip through these actual animals that are real life animals. That is when I love Jurassic Park the most, is when they treat dinosaurs like animals.
Yes.
That's when it's at its best.
Yeah, I do love that. And I feel like they were trying to bring that back in like Rebirth when Jonathan Bailey was like, well, it's a sin to kill them. But then it was like, whatever. Everything was kind of just like, they didn't really go back to that. But I do agree with you that Jurassic World has a great, like they do such a good job with character development in that, where it was like, we care about the sons, we care about like, we can see like who she is as like an aunt, we can see like the relationship between her and freaking Chris Pratt. What's his name in the movie?
Owen Grady.
We can see like their relationship together, and kind of this like tension between them. Like they really did carve that out so quick or so neatly.
Yeah, my only negative about the entire trilogy, well, is what they do have a relationship or a past. Owen has, but the thing is, Claire is her name. She has the other stuff. The fact that she views these animals as assets and she needs to change over time throughout the course of this movie. Owen has nothing. There's nothing about his character that is a bad character trait.
Yes. Yeah.
He's just perfect. And that's really boring to watch. Alan Grant doesn't like kids. He's not a perfect individual. It is cool to watch someone have flaws, fix those. And he has nothing wrong with him whatsoever. He's kind of like all full of himself, but that doesn't change throughout the course of the movie.
Yes, no, exactly. That is really true. Honestly, I never really thought about it that way, but that is true. Like Owen is a great guy. He's great. He treats them like they are.
The kids look up to him. They're like, "Oh, we want to go with him." Like, show him just like messing up one time, just once. Make him look like a human. How do you think about what do you think about the? My opinions on it changed, but what do you think about the raptor training?
So when I first, I don't know. It's a little bit too. I have like mixed feelings about it, like the raptor training. Like when I first watched it, I was like, I don't like this. I was like, I don't like this. Like they have always been these like, evil, the most like diabolical characters and creatures. And especially like with them being so like in tune and just advanced. I was like, there's no way that somebody is able to like train them. But then I kind of just like changed like I just did a rewatch not that long ago, a couple months back. And when I watched it, I was like, well, I guess this is like, I don't hate it as much as I did like the first time. I kind of was like, well, I guess I get it. Like they are very advanced creatures, but at the same time, him as a handler, he's trying to, he still understands that, like that they are so advanced that they are able to be trained and that they are able to take direction and orders and stuff like that because they have an understanding of that. But at the same time, they are still very highly dangerous creatures. Like when, that one scene where they kind of get like a little bit riled up and that one guy like falls into the crate or whatever. So I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings. Like I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
Yeah, my feelings also change because, like I said, I like it when they treat these dinosaurs like animals, and you can train tigers. Like people have shows where they do stuff like that. But at the same time, one thing I do like about Owen's character that I think other characters should have is that he respects them and still treats them like not necessarily a foe, but like a force.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
He knows the power
They're
behind
still wild animals. Like, yeah.
But so I'm okay. I'm okay with the training and how they interact with him, because it doesn't even seem like all of them necessarily follow Owen's orders. It's Blue, and then Blue is in control of the rest of them.
Yes, because he's like the alpha. Yeah.
Exactly. But the annoying and stupid part is the fact that, and I think he's a good villain because I think the actor's phenomenal, Vincent D'Onofrio. All three of these movies have the dumb fucking idea to be like, what if we use these raptors for combat? And I don't like that.
Yeah.
What are we doing? You don't use tigers for like, no. Why?
And it's also like, no, 1,000%, because it's like, okay, yes, like exactly what you're saying. Like we are not like, they aren't trained in that. Like, why are you training them in that aspect? And I feel like you can't, like, when did you train them for combat and for fight? Like, how do they know that? How do they know to be like, get them? It just doesn't make sense.
I just, like I said, it's something that they bring back in Fallen Kingdom. It's something they bring back in Dominion too. And I don't know who told them that it was a smart idea, but maybe that's the only way they can think of, like, evil men in the world will want to buy them. I was like, freaking Kim Kardashian will want to go into that auction that they have in Fallen Kingdom and just have a pet dinosaur. People do stupid shit all the time like that. It doesn't have to be like rulers from Russia who are like, now I can kill my enemy. Like, what are we doing here? But I think it was 1993 when the original movie came out. And I can't lie, it's cool to see what people would imagine an amusement park in 2015 would look like if it had dinosaurs.
Oh, 1,000%. And there's like a viral tweet that I see every once in a while where it's like, my toxic trait is that I would go and visit Jurassic Park. And 1,000,000%, even watching a movie, like even if like Jurassic Park were to open today, I would still go to see it. I would still go to see it. I just need to witness it once to be like, did they really bring dinosaurs back? We got to check this out.
I would do it too. Dan would not. Dan, the park was open canonically. Canonically, Jurassic World was open for 10 years until that incident happened. So it might be our day. I mean, yeah. I mean, we got a good chance of it not being our day.
It's really not your day. You know what I mean?
That's true, but I feel like I have good luck. But also, I don't know. I would feel really bad because that's like I've never been to what's the one with the whales? SeaWorld. Like I've never been there. Couldn't bring myself to, even though I would love to see a whale. Like I've always wanted to go like whale watching, but it's like I could never. I don't know.
Whale watching is definitely the move. If you want to see them, definitely they go right to where they are, and they're everywhere. There's so
okay, but see, this is also why. Let's say that they didn't open up Jurassic Park, but they opened up an island of dinosaurs. I would go and visit that island.
But like structurally, there's something there, right? It's not just like an island of dinosaurs. Like,
is there a park still? I'd probably just go.
Or you're gonna be like a
reserve, like.
Yeah, I would go like in JP3 when they just are there. I would be like, let me just check this out.
Dude, JP3 goes so hard, like right away. It's insane. I cannot get that out of my mind when I was watching it. I was like, dang, we're already having like a T-Rex and a Spinosaurus just going at it. We're like 15 minutes into the movie.
That's why I love it. It's just boom, 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 action packed.
But what I like, I mean, I keep on saying this over and over again, Gigi, is the fact that in the original Jurassic Park, the T-Rex is still a creature. It's still curious. It is an animal, and it's not necessarily like a killing machine. It is in a new world, new environment. Trying to figure things out with new creatures, as in humans. The Indominus Rex is a monster.
Yes.
That, unlike the T-Rex, even more extreme, has been locked in this little confinement, in this little area, and Owen's like, dude, that thing doesn't. I like it saying like it doesn't even know what it is. It's never interacted with anything. It is literally unpredictable. You cannot control this thing. So I think that, and I like that it is a formidable foe, like we were saying with Rebirth, that doesn't do this. I like that the Indominus Rex is introduced like 25, 30 minutes in, and it's just the island is so big that that this unstoppable force is eventually going to reach all these people. Like, can they get out in time? What is it going to do in the meantime before it gets there? It's a lot of tension. It's a lot of really good tension.
It is. I do love the tension in Jurassic World. I think it's I think I rated it like a 4 out of 5. I loved the tension, and it still feels very like you said, like very Jurassic Park, where it's like, okay, I think that they really nailed this whole like, okay, now we are going from Jurassic Park, like what could have been, to now what is, and everything has been pretty good, but we still need to create something that's like new and crazy and stuff like that. And then we have somebody that is just like this, Alan Grant / Ian Malcolm like character meshed together, where it's like, this is probably not a good idea. And like, that we should treat them like the actual predators that they are.
Yeah, Dan, I know you didn't get a chance to rewatch this before we were talking about it, and that was, I think, on me. But I like that this movie goes even more horror than whatever we were promised in Rebirth. Like the D-Rex ain't got nothing on those fucking pterodactyls, like picking up that woman and throwing her.
Yes.
And then like going in the water and just playing with her in the water. And then the Momosaurus, what's it called?
Mosasaurus.
The
Mosasaurus.
The Mosasaurus. Yeah.
What is that? What's those little like keychain things that everyone's getting right now? The Laboobies?
The Labubus, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
The Laboobies.
That's sorry. I don't think Dan even knows what that is.
Do you know what a Labubu is?
What you guys are talking about now? No idea.
You don't know what a Labubu is?
Are you saying Labubu?
Labubu. A
Labubu.
Labubu.
No, I'm really out of the loop here.
Dad, you don't need to be in the loop, my friend. He's looking him up right now. He's like, "What are you guys talking about?"
Wait! Oh my God! Wait! I need to go get mine.
Well, Dan, what do you think about? It's basically what it is. It's just a box of these little keychains, and you.
Wait, this is related to Nordic mythology?
They're like.
I don't think so. I think it's from Japan.
Yeah, they're from.
Inspired the Monsters picture book series inspired by Nordic mythology.
Dude, this could be your first post on your new account.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. They're so
Not what
cute.
I was going to talk about. I'll tell you that much. Holy shit.
I can't believe you've never heard of Labubus.
I don't know if I've ever laughed as hard as Dan just saying the word. Like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about right now. It's so funny.
I'm so glad I got to teach you. I got to teach Dan 2 new things today about Love Island and Labubus.
Golly.
It says the person was a Hong Kong-born artist raised in the Netherlands who wrote Labubu was part of a story series, The Monsters, which was influenced by Nordic folklore and mythology.
Oh, I didn't know that, but yeah, they're called the Monsters. I don't know where the name Labubu came from, though.
Dan, I know you're not all about the views, but I'm telling you, if you made that video,
you need to.
It could pop off.
It could.
This is a thing? Like, am I that much under a rock? Like,
no, I'm actually concerned that you don't know what Labubus are.
Dan, I went to a Steak and Shake the other day, and there was a birthday shake.
Okay,
It's a
Dan, we need to go
restaurant.
touch grass.
I touch grass in Philadelphia. There's trash everywhere, but there's some grass still. Like
Steak and Shake is just a restaurant, and there's a
Yeah.
little girl and her family having a birthday party, and there was Labubu balloons, and I was like, goodness gracious.
It's everywhere. I was at the pool the other day, and this little girl was like, "I like your labubus."
when did this moment emerge?
Oh, well, labubus have been a huge thing in Korea for like 2-3 years now, but it kind of just hit like the US like this past year. Like probably like within the past past year.
It's like a collect them all thing.
It's like kind of, but
Yeah. It's like a scam, Dan.
Yeah, no, literally. The only reason why they're fun is because they're blind boxes. So you buy one and you don't know what it is. That's what
it's a Labubu. You just don't know what color it is.
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to
And
get
they have rare
Dan
ones. They have
Labubu
rare
for
ones.
his Christmas.
Yes. And what if he pulls a rare one and he doesn't even know? That would be crazy.
You think they're kind of scary, I'm not going to lie.
What the hell? They're so cute.
Oh, this green one?
Scarier than Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Scarier than the D-Rex.
In the D-Rex.
A giant Labubu just
D-Rex
chasing them down.
D-Rex.
Sorry.
Dan, what do you think about Jurassic World? Do you like
Yeah.
it? I think you said you think it's fine. We've already said it. You stepped away for a second. I think the worst part of this movie is Chris Pratt, by far. I think Bryce Dallas Howard is actually pretty great in this movie. I don't necessarily love her and everything I see her in. I think she's phenomenal in this.
I think she's a solid actor. I think the two of them together is not the most compelling thing. I just like. I don't think Chris Pratt is a great actor. Like,
yeah,
the only time Chris Pratt has wowed me as an actor is his show, The Terminal.
The Terminalist.
It's fucking good. It's really good. And it actually deals with some stuff. I'm not going to go off on a tangent. It's a good show. I think the second season is coming, but that's the only time I've ever watched him and been like, yeah, this is really solid. Otherwise, I just find him boring. I don't know. So
you didn't find Owen Grady a very interesting character?
No, I mean the Raptor stuff. I think it's fine. I think it's like it's goofy. Like we need to militarize Raptor. Like
I told we talked about it.
Like, okay,
I like the training of them.
What?
I like the training, but not the military stuff.
Yeah, like why do you need that?
That's fair.
Vincent D'Onofrio, though.
Yeah,
I like that he's the big bad in this. He's a good actor.
Yeah,
better than Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
So what would you rate it? Like letterbox rating?
3, 2.5, 3.
Okay, that's not bad.
3. We'll go 3. It makes,
Three's a good
yeah.
one. What did you rate it, Stone?
I had 3.5. I think if Colin Trevorrow, the two things I said, I think Colin Trevorrow, he's done like nothing. He's like a nothing director. I think that there's no signature style to this movie.
Yeah.
I think the script is very good, which is surprising because I remember I was paying attention to it. There's like 4 or 5 writers to this movie.
Oh, I did not know that.
4. Kind of wild. But I think if we had a director with like a little bit more vision, a little bit more style, unique style, it could have been better. But then also I just think the Owen Grady character and there's Chris Pratt in general is just, I'm not interested every single time he's on the screen. Like, ooh, he's a badass covering himself in gasoline. Like he's so cool. Like he's just a cool guy. Like that's not interesting. I live with myself. I see a cool guy all the time. Sorry.
I wanted to shout out the lead writer, I think, is Rick Jaffa. Rick Jaffa is the guy that has co-written all the Avatar movies with James Cameron, and he also is heavily involved in the new Planet of the Apes movies. He's the producer, and he's written a few other things. He wrote Rise and Dawn, and then he produced Kingdom and War. So he's been heavy in the industry and franchises for 15 years now, and he's wrote Avatar 4 and 5 and 3. So
that there are that many Avatars.
So
3 is Fire and Ash is coming this year.
Where's the trailer?
Avatar 4 is 2029. It says filming on hiatus. Avatar 5 is 2031. in development.
Those aren't even real years.
There's only going to be 5.
That's
only
crazy.
5. Yes, only.
James Cameron's going to be like 105.
Yeah.
But I think James Cameron said that he's not going to direct the last 2. I think he might be done after this one, I believe.
Interesting.
Yes.
And I never seen anything after the first one.
Colin Trevorrow, Jurassic World, renowned director, makes the next Avatar movie.
So they filmed part of Avatar 4. Cameron said he's not finishing shooting it until after 3 comes out. But it says a third of the movie has already been filmed to account for the aging of child actors. So
they've got to release that trailer when the Fantastic Four comes out. I still can't believe they haven't released it yet. I guess it's December. So what else is coming out in December? The Smashing Machine, which we have a trailer for that, but I'm trying to think of other big movies.
Is Wicked November?
Yeah,
I think that's Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But anyways, a little tangent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this movie is solidly written. I think that can take you a mile. It really can.
I actually liked it more on my second rewatch, like just being so, I don't know, like just having time in between, because like when it was first announced that like Jurassic World was coming, I like had some like high hopes and stuff. So like when I first watched it, I think I rated it like a 3.5. I was like, okay, maybe I did rate it a 4, like soft 4, strong 3.5 for me when I first watched it. But then my second viewing, like just recently, I was like, oh, I actually like enough time has passed and enough of these fucking movies have come out where I was like, I actually really like this one, so I give it a 4.
Yeah, I think the finale too with the T-Rex and everything. I don't know how the Momosaurus,
the
Mosasaurus knew how to come out of the water and like get it at the very end. But I also I love how they don't explain that the kid is like counting teeth. And he's like 4, 3, 5, 7. So yeah, teeth. We need more teeth. We don't have enough teeth. Like, how the fuck did you just do that? It's a fake dinosaur. Like, how do you know how much teeth it can? It could have 1,554 teeth in there. You have no idea. Maybe Wu was just like, high one night. He's like, I'm gonna give this thing 1,000,000 teeth in there. You don't know shit, kid. Stop acting like you know teeth. You need 70 T-Rexes actually. You don't need one. Sorry, sorry, that bugged me. It's a fake dinosaur. This kid does not know how much teeth this thing has.
I love it.
Goodness gracious. How many teeth does a raptor have? It's just...
I don't know. These are the important questions.
You're asking the hard-hitting questions.
We need answers. I love it when like dinosaurs like use their claws like hands. Oh. I don't know why, but there's that one. They don't necessarily do it in this movie. I was thinking about right before he counts the stupid teeth. She like the Dominus like reaches its hand out and like I think its claw like gets the kid's backpack, and it is a pretty terrifying moment. Like the kid isn't even screaming; he's like slowly crying, like as it's like kind of pulling him a little bit. But in Fallen Kingdom, it's like the Indoraptor's just like just using it as like a hand, which is very funny.
That's actually terrifying. Like that's terrifying. That's like in I think it's Lost World when they open up. They like he opens it up with like his little claw, and I was like, I don't like this. This is too human like.
So I think that is still the original Jurassic Park. I think that's how they get into that's how they get into the kitchen scene. The scene in The Lost World that stands out the most to me when it comes to raptors is the digging, because you see like the two girls are like digging, and then the raptors are digging on the other side.
Yes,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. Is that Jurassic Park? Because I know that they get in like they like rattle the thing, but there's one in like
they're always getting into places. Maybe there is. Maybe they just open a door all the time.
I think there's got to be, because there's one scene where like I think Ian says something where he was like, "Oh my god, they've like adapted," and I was like, But yeah, they show his little freaks me out.
One bad thing about this movie that unfortunately I didn't think it was terrible, but we didn't know what we were getting into when it came to it was even though I don't mind the training stuff, the hands. I didn't realize the hand was going to be such a big thing. I didn't realize in Dominion, everyone was just going to be like, stick your hand out. It'll stop them. I mean, they did that with Alan Grant. Literally the clone girls like, do it, do it, do it. And they all just like hold their hands out. And like, that's the kryptonite to dinosaurs. They're like, what do we do now, man? The hand's out. I wish that wasn't the case. Something bad that the franchise kept on going with, but
no, they shouldn't have stuck with that.
Gigi, you have this rated as a 3, and you said bring back animatronics. So I'm glad that I could talk about animatronics so much.
I'm glad. Wait, which one did I say at Fallen Kingdom?
No, that's this one you have as a 3. You're on Dan's. I don't know.
No.
Uh-huh. You like Rebirth just as much as this one.
No. I could have sworn.
It's almost like ratings don't matter.
I could have sworn I had it as a 4.
I got the original Jurassic Park as a 2, guys. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You know what? Actually, I don't remember Fallen Kingdom whatsoever, though.
Fallen Kingdom, they have the dark black market, and they sell the dinosaurs. And Toby Jones is just like, 10 million, 15 million.
I don't remember a single scene. I can't believe I rated it. Show your activity. What?
Also, there's a scene in the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom where the Indoraptor smiles. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. It's like pretend
which one?
In Fallen Kingdom. The Indoraptor is pretending to be asleep. The guy shoots it with a dart, and the guy wants to go in there and pluck out the Indoraptor's tooth. And you see its tail is slowly moving towards the guy. The guy turns to look at the tail, and you see the Indoraptor's face, and it smiles. It is so funny that that the dinosaur is smiling. I'll have to send it to you, Dan.
I need to see the scene. One of the scenes in Jurassic Park 3 that literally kills me every time because I'm like, did they miss this edit or something? It's when they all get out of the river and everything is all good, great. And then they hear I think they hear something. I don't know if they hear the cell phone or if they hear something, but all of a sudden that big ass red dinosaur comes and it just literally stops and stares at them. And then they stare at it. And then it just walks away. But it is the goofiest scene.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what was the point of that scene?
That is really random.
It's so random, but I die laughing every single time. It's the funniest scene besides the dream sequence, Alan, besides that one.
No, I realized is at the beginning, I was telling my brother this. At the beginning of this movie, he's talking like Ellie's parrot. And he's like, say Alan, at the beginning of the movie. And then I'm like, I think that's kind of what they were going for when he wakes up and not a parrot, but a velociraptor says Alan to him. But then my brother said, no, they were just trying to get ahead of the curve when it came to meme culture. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's so funny.
Alan. You like it?
I've never minded that moment ever.
Wait, the dream sequence?
No, it never really bothered me. It's like,
I think it's funny.
Dinosaur. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a dinosaur.
Movie about fucking dinosaurs.
At least it's not a D's Rex.
True.
If that thing said Alan, that would be terrifying.
That would. If they spoke, that would be terrifying.
Oh gosh. Also, the Jurassic World does have a little bit of nostalgia to it, obviously, but I like that they didn't bring back necessarily any of the characters besides I think BD Wong. That's fine. They had a park where it kind of makes sense though. This is Isla Nublar. This is the same island where the original Jurassic Park was. So these kids get lost because they're running away from the Indominus Rex, and they wander onto the old Jurassic Park, and that actually plays, and they get a vehicle from the garage of the old Jurassic Park, and they're able to drive back to safety. And I was like, that's a good way of. It wasn't too much, even though obviously the park opening up itself is very reminiscent of the original Jurassic Park. 22 years have passed, so it looks and feels a lot different than whatever John Hammond was trying to do.
Yeah, but I do like that they kept it on the same island. It feels, I don't know, there was moments of nostalgia that didn't feel like they were playing into because going back to Rebirth, there was scenes that you could tell were supposed to be curated like certain scenes from the other movies in the franchise, but I don't think that they did that in Jurassic World. It was more so oh, look, this is going to be the nostalgic part of it, but it made sense.
Yeah. All right, Gigi, I don't think did you tell us what your favorite dinosaur was? Is it the Dilophosaurus?
Well, that was I don't know, what my favorite dinosaur was. Oh gosh.
So, me and Dan, I'll do the head one. I don't know. Yeah. I need to look up what that dinosaur is called. Do you know what yours is called, Dan? The spiky one?
Ankylosaurus.
Ankylosaurus.
I don't know. I think I I never really picked a favorite. I do love a raptor just because.
Oh gosh.
I do love a raptor. They're just scary.
Pachycephalosaurus is what mine's called.
Oh, he mentions that in the movie. Tim does. Because I think Pachycephalosaurus. God, how do you even spell these words?
Look at that. It's like a tooth on his head. Wait, hold on. Look at that.
Yes.
Love those guys.
Yeah, I have never really picked a favorite. I'm just going to say raptor for right now because I think they're just badass.
I mean, I think as the number one fan of the franchise, I think that's a good pick for you. It's got to be that of the T-Rex.
Yeah.
So even though the T-Rex in Rebirth is the mega T-Rex, it's not even a regular T-Rex. Don't give me everything. That movie's different. But Gigi, I won't keep you from Love Island anymore. Thanks for talking about this with us.
Gotta tune in. I know. I had so much fun. I love this movie. Love the franchise. Love you guys.
Well, it's been. What we say this?
I was gonna say there was nobody better for this episode, so I definitely appreciate it.
Oh, thanks.
I will say I told Dan that I have someone in mind, and he knew that I was talking about you. I didn't even tell him.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that my love for Jurassic Park is known.
What do you think that I love? What love of mine is known? Do I have a love?
I don't know. You give like Star Wars.
Nope.
You don't even like Star Wars?
I've talked to Dan at least once a week for about a year and a half now, and he has no. I don't evoke any. I have Star Wars. I like Star Wars, but there's just I like Avatar: The Last Airbender a lot, but I don't necessarily have a whole lot of. I'm not really a huge fan of one thing. I'm a fan. I love many things. I have Star Wars. I have Jurassic Park. I have Alien. I have Mamma Mia. I mean, Dan's never watched Mamma Mia, by the way.
Okay, I've actually never seen the movie. I've only ever seen the play.
That's fine.
Fine.
Which is good.
But I was like a kid, so I barely remember it. So I need to watch it.
Very good movie. They're coming out with a third one that maybe is going to star Sabrina Carpenter, Dan's number one played artist on Spotify.
Is that really?
No.
I love Sabrina, but this didn't make sense. Now it makes sense.
Is that like a rumor or?
Basically the producer of the movie has been like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool if she was in it. The only problem is Amanda Seyfried is a little bit too young for Sabrina Carpenter to play her daughter. So, and that's kind of what they would do. Freaking Cher. Dude, I fucking love Cher. She pops up in the second one. She's like, if you believe in like that song. Dude,
they should cast you.
Dude, if I could act along Stellan Skarsgård, I love Stellan Skarsgård. It's Stellan Skarsgård, Colin Firth, and Pierce Brosnan. And Stone.
And Stone.
I can fit right in. Oh, Lordy. Well, Gigi, please tell people where they can find you. Plug yourself as long and as hard as you want. This is your floor right now.
Perfect. I'm Gigi. My socials everywhere are Room for Scream. I'm mostly active on TikTok and Instagram. I literally just started posting my stuff to Facebook. Let me tell you guys, Facebook is a whole different beast. It's a whole different beast. If you thought that you've met the meanest person you've ever met, wait till Facebook humbles you, man. The comments are crazy on there. I've never in my life had to turn off comments because I was like, oh, I don't care. But there was one post where I literally had to I had to mute it because I was like, this is going to make me spiral, dude. But I'm also on Facebook in case you're there, but don't follow me unless you're nice. And I talk about horror movies, the horror, thriller, those adjacent kind of movies. But that's me. Thanks for having me.
When is your review for Rebirth coming out? You've already recorded it?
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Okay. Everyone look forward to that. That's when our Rebirth episode is going to go out. So we'll plug your review at the same time.
Oh my God, this is perfect timing.
So when is House for Scream? Is it going to be how those influencers, they do certain houses? Is there going to be a House for Scream? All these influencers?
I want a hype house. Yes. And then it's a house for Scream. Everyone's my roomie, all that. I'm building.
This is Chuck. Hey guys. What the fuck is up? Dude, I think it's the TikTok, the not the algorithm, but the thing where you got to catch people's attention the first 5 seconds.
Oh, the hook, yeah.
The hook. He just he says fuck in the first 5 minutes or 5 seconds. I love it every time.
Oh,
this is fucking nuts. What the fuck did I just watch?
He's very good at hooks. That's why Chuck, he exploded on these apps. It's crazy to me, but I think that is his little magic trick. It's just saying fuck within the first 2-3 seconds of his hook.
It works. Got a
It
lot more
does.
followers than I do.
I got to start doing that. I'm gonna say that for you, Chuck.
That'd be kind of wild if you.
Fuck.
In your Jurassic World Rebirth trailer review. Oh lordy. Okay. Well, yeah. Be looking forward to her review tomorrow, guys. Thanks for listening to us this week. Me and Dan are going to be talking about Superman, much anticipated movie next week. So if you are interested in that at all, please look forward to that. But until then, go follow Room for Scream. Be excited for House for Scream one day, and watch some good movies. Sit on a park bench, touch some grass, and we'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.